Hello, this is a sermonette that I wanted to entitle Elijah in a Road Game. Let me share my screen and maximize my video here. Okay, this is obviously a picture of Elijah in the famous story where Elijah is in a contest with the prophets of Baal. Let me read the text from the Bible. This is from 1 Kings chapter 18. So Ahab sent all the people of Israel and gathered the prophets together at Mount Carmel. And Elijah came near to all the people and said, how long will you go limping between two different opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him. And the people did not answer him a word. Then Elijah said to the people, even I only, am left a prophet of the Lord, but Baal's prophets are 450 men. Let two bulls be given to us, and let them choose one bull for themselves, and cut it in pieces, and lay it on the wood, but put no fire to it. And I will prepare the other bull, and lay it on the wood, and put no fire to it. And you call upon the name of your God, and I will call upon the name of the Lord. And the God who answers by fire, he is God. And all the people answered, it is well spoken. So here is a picture of Baal. We read a lot about Baal in the Bible, but you may not have seen a picture really. The one on the left is an actual figurine taken from that era that's found. That is an idol. It's an idol of Baal. And the one on the right is a carving, and the carving is a carving of Baal. And in both these, you can see that he is represented as a strong man raising his right arm. And in the carving at the right, you can see he's got something in his arm. In the figurine on the left, he might have, but it broke off. But what he's got in his arm, it's not clear from the picture, but we've recovered archaeological information at a place called Ugarit that had a lot of information about the nature of Baal worship. And what it tells us is that Baal was the god of the thunderstorm. And what he's really got in his right arm is a thunderbolt. So Baal was the god of the thunderstorm. Now, Elijah calls the people to Mount Carmel. So let's look at a map for a second. On the map on the left, it's a biblical era map, and you can see the little pin on Mount Carmel in Israel. You can see the terrain indicated that it's a mountain right there, and it's right next to the Mediterranean coast. Now, when you're in the northern hemisphere, most of the weather comes to us from the west or northwest. And the land of Israel is like that. Almost all the rain systems they get come from the west or from the northwest. And also, you might know that if you're on a mountain and you have a weather system come at you and the warm air begins to go up the mountain, it creates instability and it creates a high chance for having rain or a thunderstorm. Consequently, this area in Israel is one of the rainiest places of all. On the map on the right side, where there's some Hebrew writing, this is a map of Haifa and the districts, city districts within Haifa. And you can compare the right map to the left map. Haifa is built right on top of Mount Carmel. So very, very mountainous city with crooked roads and everything, as mountainous places are. But the thing I'd like to point out is here is a picture of Haifa from taken partway up Mount Carmel, looking out upon the ocean. And this is a pretty view of the Baha'i gardens there. But the thing to notice is green. This is really, really a green area. Now, the land of Israel is a semi-arid land, which is sometimes a little short on rain, but this area is the rainiest place in Israel. As a matter of fact, I'm making this video on November 20th, 2024, and in the Times of Israel newspaper from November 19, that's just yesterday, there's a story about rain swamping the northern coast. You can read there, record rain / northern Israel and the Haifa region Tuesday in the second paragraph, second city down at the bottom says the Haf HaCarmel High School, located in the community, had to send its students home due to flooding. HaCarmel is the Carmel, it's off from Mount Carmel. So, what's the point of all this? The point is that Elijah, in this contest, gave the prophets of Baal the home field advantage. This is the most likely place in Israel to have a thunderstorm. Baal was the god of thunder. Now, the contest was really the god who answers by fire. But I suspect if there was a lightning bolt that hit the place, the prophets of Baal would have counted that. So God, through Elijah, really gave Baal the home field advantage to prove that he was God, even over places where someone might assume that Baal had the most authority. To read the rest of the story, he put the wood in order and cut the bulls in pieces and laid it on the wood. And he said, fill it with water and pour it on the burnt offering and on the wood. And he said, do it a second time. And they did it a second time. And he said, do it a third time. And they did it a third time. And the water ran around the altar and filled the trench also with water. So you see, not only has he picked the best place for Baal, but he's handicapping himself even further by putting water all over the altar and the sacrifice. Verse 36, and at the time of the offering of the oblation, Elijah the prophet came near and said, O Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known this day that you are God in Israel, and that I am your servant, and that I have done all these things at your word. Answer me, O Lord, answer me, that this people may know that you, O Lord, are God, and that you have turned their hearts back. Then the fire of the Lord fell and consumed the burnt offering and the wood and the stones and the dust, and licked up the water that was in the trench. And when all the people saw it, they fell on their faces and said, the Lord, he is God. The Lord, he is God. So not only is this a contest, but this also is a story that reminds us that God is sovereign everywhere, even in places where it would seem like the enemy has all the advantages. It's really God who is the one that's in charge. So that is a fairly simple sermonette on this topic. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll make another one before too long.